Elfie, step up. Good bird. He wants all the crumbs. Good bird.
Come on.
Okay. Step up. Scratch, scratch. Come on. Yeah, good bird. Yeah, scratch, scratch. Wow, Lovey's entry. Scratch, scratch. Come on. Good bird.
What's going on, everyone? Alan here with Parrots&Co, and in this quick video I want to talk about how to get your bird to like other people. Now, as parrot owners, I know that it can be super frustrating getting your parrot to like other people and to just have a positive relationship with other people. You know, a lot of times I hear that, you know, I have a parrot and it's a one-person bird, right? That means it only likes females, or it only likes males, or it only likes one person in the house, and it tolerates everybody else. Or if other person goes to try to pick it up or, you know, pet my bird, something like that, the bird ends up biting or lunging or gets aggressive, right? And this is actually quite a common problem that I see with parrot owners. I know I have a lot of people that initially reach out to me because their parrots have biting issues, and sometimes this can translate to aggression because they are bonded to one person. And, you know, some person will walk in the room and the parrot sees a person and it thinks, hey, this person's intruding the space, it's not part of the flock, and then it flies and goes to try to attack a person. You know, obviously this is not good for anyone. If you have kids, if you live in a household and there's other people that are going to be interacting with your parrot, you know, you don't want to be afraid to have your parrot out and just have it attack people for whatever reason. So let's dive in this video and talk about how to get your parrot to like other people. So first and foremost, we have to understand parrot psychology, right? Parrot psychology meaning that in nature, parrots bond with one mate, usually for life. And parrots aren't domesticated, right? You might find yourself, you know, you got a bird, you saw it, it was beautiful, you expected it to be like a cat or a dog, and then it turns out to be quite the opposite, where maybe it initially liked you and it was friendly toward you, then all of a sudden it starts biting you, it's screaming, and you don't know what the heck's going on, right? Sometimes this happens. But with that being said, this is partly in nature that, you know, parrots aren't domesticated the same way that dogs or cats are. So it means that they're still wild in nature, and they revert to those so-called wild tendencies, where one of those wild tendencies would be to bond with one person. Usually what ends up happening is that there's one person in the house that's feeding your parrot, that's feeding the parrot, that's giving the parrot, you know, scratches or lubbies, asking the parrot to step out of the cage, giving it treats. And what ends up happening is this creates a dynamic where the parrot only starts seeing positive association with one specific individual in the house. And this could be anybody. So with that being said, you know, parrots do bond to one person in nature, and that's going to be natural. And usually you see this translate when they're really bonded to one person in a form of cage aggression sometimes toward other people, aggression in general, biting other people that try to handle the parrot, or, you know, flying in extreme cases to people in a territorial attack response because, you know, we're seen, if we're not part of the flock, as someone that's intruding on the territory, so to speak. And with that being said, what can we do in this case where the parrot might not see a lot of value in another person because other people in the household maybe don't actually interact with the parrot. Don't give it a positive reinforcement so it just sees somebody that's there but not somebody that's part of the flock. An example of this would be, like I mentioned earlier, you're the person that takes care of the parrot all the time, 24/7, and nobody else really interacts with the parrot. This is what it's going to create that dynamic even more so. So if you want to work toward having a parrot that likes other people, we have to shift the balance a little bit. So try going, starting with 80-20 initially, and the 80-20 rule basically meaning if you're the main caretaker and you want to integrate the parrot with other people and start getting it used to interacting with other people, what we can do is having other people in the household contribute to the daily activities that you do with your parrot.
Hi.
Shoot.
Elfie on the tree? Can you step up? Good bird. Elfie!
Cool. So let's say if you're always feeding your parrot, you're always training it, you're always doing a lot of that, have people in the household basically feed the parrot and interact with the parrot 80% of the time initially, and you take 20% of that role and responsibility. And then over time, we start gradually increasing it, 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, to where the parrot starts getting used to multiple people interacting with it. And basically this just shows, hey, all people in the household bring positive value and give me treats or feed me or interact with me and play with me, not just one person. And this is how we start shifting the dynamic of a one-person bird. So one of the best ways to a bird's heart is through positive reinforcement, through clicker training and treats. So if you're the one that's primarily doing the training sessions with the parrot, have a significant other, whoever you want to work with the bird, train your parrot either in the morning session or in the evening session, and mix up the responsibilities 80-20 initially.
Elfie! Elfie! Come here, buddy. Elfie! Elfie! Ooh, good bird. Elfie! Right to the hand. Such a good bird. Yeah. Whistle. That was good. Elfie can kiss. Good bird.
So have your parrot do recall with a specific person in the house instead of doing it with you. Maybe you can just supervise, have another person feed your parrot in the morning instead of you doing it, and then maybe you revert to afternoon feedings and afternoon training session. If you train your parrot twice a day. So this is really going to start to change the dynamic of the parrot relationship. And a good example of that I have is with my girlfriend. So recently my girlfriend and Elfie have been having little showdowns, right? Nothing crazy, but you can naturally see, because she's not home, 80% of the day, and really doesn't even see Elfie sometimes multiple days ongoing, because by the time she gets home, he's asleep, and when she goes to work, she doesn't really interact with him. So then Elfie sees her and he gets really excited because he actually likes her. His eyes pin, his head starts bobbing, and these are all behaviors that can lead to a parrot biting someone. Excitement and frustration are the same triggers in a bird, so sometimes the two can get mixed up. Even though a parrot is excited, they'll bite out of excitement. So what I'm starting to do to incorporate a lot of what I talk about so that Elfie starts getting along with her more is I'm having my girlfriend do a lot of the afternoon training sessions, the morning feeding, any type of trick training, and then I'm only going to do like one session in the afternoon feeding. So I'm going to have her interact with Elfie a lot the step ups to get out of the cage, obviously all with treats so that Elfie starts learning, oh, Rochelle comes around, she lets me out, she feeds me, she trains me, she gives me treats. And that's the other dynamic of it.
Yeah. So the first thing I noticed about Elfie that he does differently around me than Alan is, number one, when Alan's gone out of the apartment, Elfie has a tendency to yell more often. I think that he believes that I will come and cave and give him attention or give him treats, even though I hold out as best I can. I do not give him attention when he yells. But yeah, he'll just end up yelling more often. The second thing is if I come up to his cage, it's typically Saturday or Sunday when I'm home, and he'll get googly eyes. So he does eye pinning. So he gets excited when I come around. He'll be on the top of the cage and run over, and he just gets excited when I come around. Or another thing is if I'm handling Elfie alone and I want to put him from his stand in the living room into his cage, I'll try and do it quickly, and he might nip me as I'm trying to put him in the cage. So basically he's trying to bully me and say no, I don't want to go in the cage, and bites me. So those are the things that I noticed that are different between Elfie with me versus Elfie with Alan, and things that we're working on.
And you can see him do it now, actually. If you turn around, he was lunging at his toy because you're next to his cage, and now he's biting his toy out of aggression or frustration, or basically he's just saying, hey, I don't like you by my cage, back up. You see that? So what are we doing to work on that now, Elle?
So now what we're going to do is, it's going crazy right now. Now we're going to have me feed him in the morning, so he's used to me being around his cage, which I'm not usually around his cage since I'm at work Monday through Friday. So feeding him in the morning, just getting him used to me handling his food bowl and feeding him, and so hopefully that'll create a more of a positive reinforcement about me being around him, especially near his cage, because we know that Elfie has cage aggression.
On occasion.
On occasion, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what else are we doing in terms of training sessions moving forward?
Training sessions, we want to have me do trick training, even just simple step up, click, treat, the flight recall, so that he associates me with a positive, experience. I'm not just, indisposable, so to speak. I am a source of treats. I'm a source of, positive reinforcement. So those are the things that we're going to do moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And if you can actually see Elfie closely, he's up on his cage, he's bobbing his head, he's moving his head side to side. These are all signs of an excited bird. And it's because he actually likes Rochelle, but sometimes out of that excitement, you see him going crazy now. Sometimes birds will bite out of excitement. They'll knit because they're excited, even though it's not intentional, because the triggers of excitement and frustration are the same in a bird. So he might land on her, he gets excited, then he nips her. So just having her interact with Elfie more and actually balance it out so that we're splitting it either half and half or 80-20, where I'm giving Rochelle more ability for her to work with Elfie as opposed to me all the time. It's going to balance it more, and it's going to help Elfie see, hey, she's actually part of the flock and she does nice things to me, and it's common for other people, including her, to handle me. And that's something that we're working on. Right? One of the best things that you can do to increase the value of a household member toward your parrot and get your parrot to like more people is to have other people in the household do training sessions, for example. That's where you build a lot of value, because you have that focused one-on-one attention and you're getting rewarded for behavior. So you start building that connection with multiple people in the house. But with that being said, guys, this is a long-term process. If I can tell you anything that I've learned over the last few years with Elfie, is that sometimes these tendencies or learned behaviors take a while to untrain in a bird or to retrain, for example, a bird to like other people. So it's a long-term game, but at the end of the day, you know, a few weeks, a few months of of consistency is totally going to be worth it for, you know, 20 to 50 years that your bird's going to live. So we look at the asymmetric balance, the asymmetric returns of investing consistency and shifting the routine in your parrot so that it starts liking other people down the road, so that, you know, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, whatever time goes on, and now you've developed a more social and friendly parrot amongst the household that everyone is going to get along with, and it's just a win-win for everybody. So that is it for this quick video, guys. And you know, I didn't cover in this video, but also part of what goes into a well-tamed and well-behaved parrot is going to be a lot to do with food motivation, their weight, their diet, and how they sleep. So check out the free download that I have in the description below, the Parrot Chop Formula, where it's basically a how-to guide to parrot nutrition, motivation, and training, and really just setting the fundamentals for your parrot to have success with you. So check that out. And you know, it's what I do with Elfie. We practice it every day, and it's, you know, pay dividends over the long term. Check that out in the description below, and we will see you guys next time. Elfie over here being a good bird, and Alan with Parrots&Co. See you guys next time. Take care.